remember, there's two kinds of
Okay, it
control.
involves like clinical psychologists. It
Yes,
includes a lot of Hegelian dialectic
exactly.
involved. The buying off and the movements and the controlling and continuous brainwashing and
Yes,
controlling mechanism from the MSMs and so on. But they didn't anticipate such change, like the collapse is so quick in just
yes.
mere what 2 years time.
Hmm.
They lost they to a very significant degree. They lost control.
They lost the war for our minds.
They lost the war. Yes, initially they were planning to lock us down for 5 years.
Yes, and they lost the
Okay,
war for our
they used
hearts.
the psychological scare in the name of a pandemic to
Yes,
scare us off so that we're all confined to our own house and
yes,
basically suffer from cabin fever, drive each other's nuts.
yes.
Children have to suffer inside the house, cannot go outside
Uh
and
huh.
play under the sun, go to the playgrounds and so on,
Uh
and
huh.
people gone crazy, lost their jobs, middle income family basically became non-existent. Some
Exactly.
people committed suicide. Small to medium scale businesses all collapse and go bankrupt. Only the mega ones like Amazon and so on, Walmart, online retail stores can afford to stay on and basically mop up all the remaining of the businesses
In other
that
words,
from the ones.
you're saying that the control mechanisms which are in their hands,
That's
and I'm
right.
not going to define who they are
That's right.
for obvious reasons, but
That's
those
right.
control mechanisms were empowered, were
Correct.
independent,
Yes.
self-sustaining,
Yes.
sovereign
That's
people
right.
with their small businesses and
That's
their
right.
farms and their their own independent support systems. Those were the
Correct.
ones that were attacked and punished.
That's
And for
right.
example, did you notice that very, very quickly after the pandemic, and there was suddenly food services available to come to your home.
Correct.
I'm not going to mention the names because you know them.
Yes.
But,
That's right.
but suddenly, as if by magic,
Yes.
overnight, you can have all these little packages of meal planned baggies delivered to your door, and it's why it's because it's unsafe to go out shopping. It's
Correct.
unsafe. What? It's unsafe to go and buy food. Oh, and it definitely you can't go to a restaurant. So therefore, we're going to
That's
just
right.
bring everything to your door.
That's right.
Now there was a model by a major fast food chain, again whose name I'm not going to mention, some years ago, where they tried a pilot project for an entire apartment building,
That's right.
and this building was designed from scratch to facilitate a food delivery system by dumbwaiter, so
Yes.
that you'd push a button for which meal you wanted, and it would be delivered to your home. And
Correct.
these homes did not have kitchens.
Correct.
So they said it would make apartment dwelling more efficient, and it would make it cheaper because the cost of the making the building was approximately 50% reduced because you didn't need the electrical system, the plumbing, and all that a normal kitchen requires. Okay.
Right.
Also, it was more environmentally conscious because they were not using so much electricity because you don't need a refrigerator and a stove. So therefore, we are going to
Oh.
provide everything you need by dumbwaiter from these industrial kitchens located in the basement.
Oh, suddenly it all boils down to the so-called climate change again,
Now, yeah, now, but by the way, the owner of the building has a contract with the food service provider, and
Right?
you are being totally controlled by this. Uh,
Yes, you're
uh,
at the mercy of
you're
them.
at the mercy of them because if suddenly you're not behaving somehow, or
That's
you're
right.
not fit to live there because of some social credit system. Now, I'm talking about
That's right.
something from 40 and 50 years ago.
Correct.
Back in the 1960s and 70s, this
That's right.
plan
Yeah.
for urban living was first
Sure.
espoused. All right.
Yeah.
Now, can't you see that
Hmm.
these attempts to
Yeah.
completely harvest and control humanity have been ongoing for a very long time?
Yes.
And it goes back to the
It's an
Rome,
experimentation that
right?
has been in the works for many
Yeah,
decades,
and
citing that
yes,
Mao Zedong years, similar things had happened before.
and this was, I'm not talking about even a communist country. I'm talking about
That's
New
right.
York City.
That's
This
right.
is proposed for a so-called democratic nation
Correct.
in the American concept. And,
Yeah.
and shall we even mention the mind control attempts of subliminal advertising in the 1950s, where you would put a short clip of actually on a 28 millimeter movie film, you would have
Yep.
one shot of a hamburger
Sure.
every 28 frames, and
Correct.
which you can't see with your conscious eye, but which
Right.
subliminally your subconscious registers, and that
Yep.
suddenly makes you hungry in the middle of the movie. So
You bet.
they got a little image of a hamburger and fries and maybe a Coke in there, and so that
Yep.
during when intermission happens, everybody has been psychologically primed to
That's
go and
right.
buy their snacks
That's right.
at the kiosk.
Correct.
You know, it's not a matter of if, it's a
Mm.
matter of when.
Yep.
They've definitely been doing it for a very, very long time and trying to
Correct.
keep us completely encapsulated in their control
Yes.
system. In fact, you know what? I got a word for it. It's called slavery.
Well said, my
It's
friend.
slavery in the physical sense
That's right.
with the availability of your own food. It's slavery in the
That's right.
psychological sense
Correct.
with your connection with your own wants and desires.
Yes.
Now, I'm not even going to start to talk about the other levels of subliminal programming which are present in advertising
Yep.
for new cars,
Yep.
for whiskey,
Yep.
for entertainments of all sorts.
Sure.
And there could even be psychological carrier waves sending information to us in the form of a Wi-Fi frequency, and this has been proven that you can make people feel uneasy or
Yep.
satisfied
Yep.
by electromagnetic means.
Yep.
And this is not my fantasy or my propaganda. This is a laboratory experimental fact.
Yep.
You can even, using certain sound waves, cause
That's
people to
right.
lose control of their rectums.
Hmm.
This is the horror that we have, I think, avoided. But there are
Hmm.
still those who wish to, push it to the maximum,
Correct.
and the current talk about the possibility of 5G transmission towers being
Yes.
used against us is what I would call the ultimate expression of control.
Right. Yep.
Um, I believe that hopefully we will be reaching the end of this, and it started with the Roman Empire.
Hmm.
It really did. It started with bread and circuses,
Hmm.
create famine and pestilence
Right.
within your area, and
Yes.
then offer the relief.
Yes.
The relief is a blood sport where you can, all your anxieties and angers and oppressed feelings that have been artificially created by a horrible, dictatorial system can be expressed in a moment of a blood sport orgy,
Hmm.
where the gladiators hack each other to death.
That's right.
And then you get some tokens thrown at you for you can go in and get some bread or a prostitute.
Correct.
They're just trying to recreate that. They're trying to continue that.
Yes.
It's just so obvious it's not even funny.
Hmm.